Welcome in, come close, hear it bounce, hear it go. Creators gone wild and Van Bird in the zone. The Echo Chamber Chronicles podcast. Say it back, say it loud.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our 4th episode of the Echo Chamber Chronicles podcast. As you may very well know, hopefully by now, my name is Creators Gone Wild, and I have my fantastic co-host here with me.
Hello, everybody. My name's Van Bird. Hopefully you know by now. How have you been today, creators?
I have been good. It has been, I've got to do the typical British thing. It has been hot.
It's been hot, hot, hot. Oh my goodness.
The complaining has started already.
Yep, it's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those podcasts today.
We are hot. We've had to turn the fans off because it's too loud, but we are getting through it.
We're going to soldier through it, aren't we?
We are. And once again, we have had a crazy week on TikTok. There has been so much happening. It's been baffling and shocking, as always.
It's been, well, you'll see. I actually have no words this week for what has occurred. I must just warn everybody that I have only had 2 hours sleep in the last 24 hours, but we will get to the reason why a little bit later on.
And for anybody new here, just a reminder, our podcast is a weekly recap on what's been happening on TikTok. We bring to you the most interesting, shocking, and outright outrageous things that have happened during the week. And that's basically what we do. We have a bit of a chat about it. And also, just before we start, we have our disclaimer. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Echo Chamber Chronicles podcast. All content is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be taken as professional advice. We make no guarantees regarding the accuracy or completeness of the information provided. Please use at your own risk.
So, this week's edition of the Echo Chamber Chronicles podcast, we have CLA, we have EQ, we have Annette, we have Mr. UK TikTok official, we have DG, we have, last but not least, Elphaba. But first, we would like to mention something that is a little bit special and unusual.
Yes, we have Fact Freak, who has launched his brand new website, which is really interesting and well thought out. And I think it's just a great idea. And I'll play the clip first of all of him telling you what his new website is about.
It's time to drop the website, the one-stop place for all safeguarding and signposting. Let me tell you about it. Now, first of all, it's going to be completely free to use and it is not monetized in any way. Now, you'll find the link, obviously, in my profile here. Now, there's a huge list of things that are easily available to you, as you see.
So as you heard from Fact Freak himself, it is a website that's built on safeguarding and signposting, and is designed to help inform people on the correct resources to go to, how to report to the police. There's also going to be court listings of offenders, which is very, very useful. So well done to Fact Freak for designing this and getting it launched and put out.
Absolutely. I think personally, he's done a fantastic job, and I think it will be really helpful moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. It's a brilliant idea. I know there's also going to be like a TikToker watch list as well. So anyone who has done something concerning or has any record, he'll also it'll also be on the website so that we can all see it. So it's a great idea. And next we have CLA, who's been live over on Kick, and she's arrived to her holiday destination with Nix, who is her old, I think current moderator actually. But she classes her as a friend, although from what we've seen, she's more of a servant or a maid, I would say. Have you seen her over on Kick?
I have. I did. I saw some clips and I was quite baffled as to the lengths that some people will go to keep these streamers happy.
Yeah, she's just been running around after her constantly, like applying sun cream for her. And I also heard her mentioning today that she's really concerned as to why she hasn't got millions of followers. And she still doesn't seem to understand that, because she says about all her accounts that have been banned, and she thinks you just basically add up the followers from each account that's been banned, but it obviously doesn't work that way. It's the same followers on each account that's following her.
This train of thought actually baffles me. I don't. They are the same followers.
She's also has been has been brainstorming, I would say, about how she can get these followers again, and also how she can go viral again, because in her head she thinks all she needs to do is do another hair dye getting my roots done video, and she'll go viral again, but doesn't quite understand that you have to move with the time with your content, and you can't just sit there complaining all day about your hair, or about, or she complains about everything, and go viral for that. You've actually got to provide content.
Absolutely. Also, Kick is a live streaming app, and I don't think that you can put out content like you can on TikTok or on Instagram. And
No.
I don't think she's kind of clicked that part either.
Yeah, no, she definitely hasn't. She just needs to, even if it's like IRL streaming or something, going out, which I know she does occasionally, but it's still very boring. Like, her content's all just based around whinging and complaining about just everything in life, and it's really depressing to watch. I don't know how people enjoy it.
I've watched a few live streams of her on Kick, and her fans just absolutely feed the ego
Oh,
that she's
yeah.
got. And it's just utterly insane. And no wonder, actually, thinking about it, no wonder she is the way that she is, considering what these people say to her.
Yeah, you're so right. It seems to be a very common thing, is these streamers' egos are all fed off people in the comments just doing the most, and then them believing it because they're fed it every single day, and they start to actually believe these delusions. So
I
I
mean,
agree.
no wonder she thinks she's famous. It's absolutely bonkers.
And then we have EQ. I think she's been in Turkey having surgery, I believe.
Yes, she has been in Turkey. She did kind of keep it quite quiet though, I feel, because I hadn't seen anything about it until she just popped up
With all the bandages, yeah.
with all the bandages. And to be fair, she has been very, very open and honest about her recovery.
Yeah. It's actually been quite interesting to watch, because she's been doing daily updates, and you can see day by day, like, she was very, very swollen, straight after surgery, obviously. And then day by day, it's been going down as she's been kind of documenting it all each day, how she's feeling. But in terms of what she had done, I think she said it was a deep plane facelift, which I think that alone, the recovery is pretty intensive. And then she had upper eyelid surgery, I think some facial feminization surgery, like brow bone shaved, fat transfer from her stomach to under her eyes, a forehead reduction, and a nose job as well. So it was a lot all at once. So it's that's a lot to go through.
To me, personally, I don't think that she needed it, but I do understand how some people feel in their own body.
Yeah.
Good for her. I'm actually glad that she's documented it, even though at first it was a little bit of a shock, I must admit, to have a pop up on my FYP. The swelling is going down, and I hope that it's what she wants.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's, people can say, that she looked fantastic before, but I guess it comes down to, your own insecurities, and if someone wants to get that fixed and they want to get it fixed to make themselves feel better. But she had her bandages taken off Friday, which is yesterday for us, and I think she said she feels a lot better for having them off and a bit more positive. So we have a couple of clips of her here as well, just so you can get a bit of a idea of what it is we're talking about.
Yeah, of course you can. So I had a forehead reduction, nose job, upper blepharoplasty. He filed down the bones that's in my head and then took fat from my tummy and injected it into like the sides and everything, because I had prominent bones because I was formerly male, a transgender woman. I had a facelift, mid-facelift, eyebrow lift. I haven't a lot done to here, but maybe that's just an after effect of some swelling. So I've had quite a few things done, my love.
Next up, we have Annette. Back from Disney. She was very, very tired earlier in the week, but she seems to have regained some vigour because Friday night is box battle night. And I don't quite know what possessed her, to be honest, because before she went on the box battle, she said that she wants to give the men a run for their money and she would like to be topless online,
Ugh.
which I I'm all for body positivity. That's not the issue. The issue is that if she did it, she would get a straight up banana.
Yeah.
And we will play that clip for you now.
Right, guys, yes, I am unashamedly saying I want to go for the box battle this evening. I never push for anything. And my agency do this box battle every week, and I've never, ever come second or won. No, actually, tell a lie, I came second once. I came second once, but I've never won it.
So yeah, as you can see, I feel like get the feeling that she's sort of moved into rage baiting content, because she's been doing videos answering comments, like replying to comments off like a previous video with the whole she's wearing her top really low down, obviously trying to rage bait, get people to comment about it and get them annoyed. But it's just a very strange direction after going from straight Disney content to rage baiting that she's topless, basically. But that was Annette this week, basically. That's what she was up to. And then we also had Mr. UK TikTok. Now, a lot has happened, and I've got to give a shout out to Debs because she brought the news to us first. And I'll show the clip first and then speak after.
People need to wake up to the fact that he lies to them all the time. Right? So, the police issued an antisocial behaviour closure order under the Crime and Policing Act 2014, Part 4, Chapter 3, Section 8. Right? So today, 20th of May, that 48-hour award was extended for 3 months. I'll tell you who's allowed in the property first. Here's who's allowed in the property. Emergency service workers, utility services, delivery services, authorised social workers like care workers, doctors, nurses, the whole 9 yards, Peabody housing staff, Alan and Paul. That's it. Nobody else is allowed back in that property until this behaviour order started at 11:30 hours on Wednesday the 20th of May 2026 and ends at 11:30am hours on Thursday the 20th of August 2026. If he breaches it or goes into the premises, he can be jailed for up to 51 weeks. He is being investigated for crimes.
So, Mr. UK TikTok got himself an ASBO finally. After all the protests, after that awareness team of people speaking to who they needed to speak to, he finally had some repercussions for his actions, which is very rare to see in TikTok world, but they made it happen. He's got an ASBO and he is banned from his house for, I think it's like between 3 and 6 months potentially. And he's got a big police letter, like a police order, stuck to the door with police tape around it. And I think a neighbor may have taken a picture of it, which made its way onto TikTok. So I'll post that now as well. But yes, as you can see, only Mr. UK TikTok's dad is allowed in the house, and his stepbrother Paul, and then any like police or ambulance or anyone, I think, from Peabody Housing is allowed in the house. But Kevin is not allowed. He's still in Cannes actually at the moment, clout chasing off. Is it Cannes Film Festival he's at? I think
It's the Cannes Film Festival.
yeah. And he decided to do all this knowing there was court proceedings happening at home, stressing his dad out, who is, I believe, unwell with a heart condition, because he mentions that all the time. So he was in Cannes knowing that this was happening at home. And yeah, off the back of it, an ASBO happened and he's banned from his house. What's also interesting is while he was on Kick Live, he was also on the phone to, I think it was HMRC, and they were saying that he's basically been overpaid universal credit. So he was told that he needs to start paying some money back. And I think he was asking for them to allow him to pay like at the end of the month or something. But for someone who claims to be so flush with money, it always is never as it seems, is it? There's always something.
It never is. And all I would like to say on Mr. UK TikTok official is that I think he should get a permanent ASBO in every part of public land that ever was, because he is a true nuisance to
Yeah.
society.
Majorly. I mean, I'll play this clip now, which is a perfect summary of the kind of things that he's been doing in order to warrant this ASBO happening. So here's that clip now.
The evidence speaks for itself, as you say. Oh yeah. My evidence is dynamite.
We also had an update from DG Decor about what's happening with Scram with Dan, aka Come Dine With Me. What's not allowed to call that anymore, but Scram with Dan. And as we mentioned last week, there's been a few confirmations of who's on the show. So right now it is CLA, Elphaba, Zach, and Luke the Judge, I believe. I think that's everyone.
I think that's correct, yep.
Yeah. And as you can imagine, there was understandably a lot of outrage because of CLA to begin with, obviously with her history of the vile things that she has done on TikTok, and of course with Elphaba's vile history. And his response has been pretty disgusting, I have to say. I'll play the video first and then we can talk about it after.
This is what people don't understand. Stop watching somebody if you want them to stop becoming relevant. Stop posting clips on them, because the less they're seen, the less relevant they are. So, Elphaba's going to ruin me. That's what everyone said about John Shields. That's what everyone said about Rachel Skinner. You're always going to say someone's going to ruin me, and I'm still sat here with 2,000 people chatting shit in my kitchen. Do you know what I mean? Nothing can ruin me, because the same type of people allow it by screen recording it and keeping me relevant. So it's a big vicious circle. You know what I mean? I'm here to create content for you lot. I don't condone anything, I don't fucking think it. If someone has a police conviction, right? If someone has a police conviction of said thing or whatever, then they're not coming on. No one has a conviction. Stop your TikTok policing. It's a load of bullshit, no one's asked.
Now, hearing this infuriated me. It infuriated all of us because it's just so ignorant. And I really feel like there's something seriously wrong with influencer culture. And this situation just proves it perfectly. You know, we've got DG Decor putting together these big Kick and TikTok live stream shows, almost like a social experiment, obviously because it's like a version of Come Dine With Me, inviting all these streamers on for what he calls entertainment, but for him it's views, drama and engagement and money. But at what point, I wondered, do views stop mattering more than just basic human morals? I mean, he called the people, us, who speak out about people like Elphaba, obsessed weirdos, which is really concerning because, we're taking the time to use our voices to let others know about these people so it just doesn't get swept under the carpet. And I think it's so important that, the awareness happens about it. And it's really concerning because, he has a young child as well who will have a phone when she's older. And I just wonder, will the people who stand up for children's online safety be weirdos in his eyes then too? Because obviously we've seen Elphaba, who behaves abhorrently online and has been publicly accused of speaking inappropriately to children while actively allowing kids on their live stream as well, while they're speaking about hooking up with men on certain apps and self-harming, all acts like that, all done in front of hundreds and thousands of people. Even though this person has not been convicted in court, obviously we're fully aware of that, it doesn't suddenly just erase their behavior just because someone hasn't been convicted. Everyone's seen the evidence of what's happened. It's been circulated. There's been conversations had. And there's been, those concerns have been raised over the last few years now so he can't act ignorant and pretend that he hasn't seen that. It is just really concerning. And what's even more disturbing to me is his response to this is, well, if someone hasn't got a criminal conviction, then they're allowed on the show, which is such a dangerous mindset because not everyone gets convicted. In fact, conviction rates are actually incredibly low when you look at the statistics. It's just infuriated me. It really has.
No, I completely agree with everything you've just said. And just to touch on the fact that DG called us obsessed weirdos, we take time out of our daily lives. And yes, sometimes it can be consuming. Like I said, I have had 2 hours sleep in the last 24 hours for very good reason, which we will explain in just a minute. But all we are trying to do is keep minors and vulnerable people safe. That's all we that's our goal, is to do the job that TikTok or Kick cannot do. If that makes us obsessed weirdos, I would rather be an obsessed weirdo rather than some view hungry, needy man-child.
Yeah. His response has been, I'm disgusted. And he forgets as well, being a creator and a big creator with a huge platform does come with a responsibility. He's the one choosing who he's associating with at the end of the day. He's choosing who he's promoting on his platform, his very large platform. He's choosing who his audience watches and is supporting. And I feel like it's just normalizing these types of people. It's yeah, it's really concerning.
I again completely agree with you. I mean, the thing is, if you look back on the history, Luke the Judge is just a shouty little man with his own opinions. That's fine. He can have that. Zach has had some quite difficult mental health battles over the last couple of years, and I do hope that he brings his A game, because certainly CLA and Alpha, if they do go on this, which is a kind of 50-50 at the moment, something has to give, because CLA and Elphaba, their behaviour over the last few years has been unhinged. And unhinged is the only way that I can put what they've done.
It's the only way to describe it really, because it really is. It does make you speechless, the kind of things that we're witnessing. And we did have a video from Zach reminding us whose team he's on and to trust him. I'll play the clip now quickly. So as you can see, we're putting a lot of hope in Zach to be asking the right questions and doing his thing. We're really hoping he just does his thing.
I'm really, really, really hoping and praying that he does what he does best.
It's about accountability, responsibility, and the type of standards that we should be accepting online. And personally, I just think these standards have fallen dangerously low by allowing them and platforming them as well.
Especially what we've seen this week has been atrocious.
Yeah. Talking of crazy moments, we had Elphaba again this week, just doing way, way too much. It was just up until the very last moment today, it has been insanity every day of the week. To start off the week, we had a crash out over their Instagram being banned again. And then I think another account then got banned straight after. And then we had the Jordan crash out because Elphaba suddenly remembered about Jordan and people were mentioning it again. And Elphaba came out and called Jordan a peddler. And that if they ever seen Jordan, that they would beat the out of him. Yeah. I mean, where do we begin? I'll play the clip. That's where we'll begin. I will play the clip first.
Yes.
Here it is.
He's a piece of shit, and if I ever see him in real life, oh, I would so shit out of him for ruining my life like this and framing me. Talk about him. Talk about him.
So that's how we started the week. And then that was followed by them singing the rest of the day as if nothing had happened. And then that was swiftly followed by another calling the police on Cam 2 people, which is just getting ridiculous at this point. Stop wasting police time.
They are desperate to try and control the narrative at the moment, and it's not working. If anything, it's backfiring on them because more people are cam-toing.
And for some reason, they still haven't realised that when it comes to TikTok, police don't care, especially because nobody is doing anything illegal. It's like tattletaling to the police that someone's saying something about me, hurty words. So
Those hurty words. Hello, Mr. Policeman. I've got some people saying hurty words online.
it's just insanity, isn't it? I mean, they must do the biggest eye roll when they hear Elphaba on the phone.
Every time.
Oh.
We should just say that we do suspect that Elphaba is on some kind of frequent flyer list, shall we say.
The nuisance list. And I've got a clip of it happening as well, just to show you what happened.
I'm so sick of this now. I'm literally just going to go to the police and just be like, what can I do? Do you know what I mean? I'm sick of him. Absolutely sick of him.
Thank you for calling 101. Connecting to limited force, press hash. Please say the name of the police force you would like to be connected to, or say the...
Why are they calling police? Oh no, this is not the reason. I'm calling it because I'm just pissed off at everyone like streaming me and like coming at me and calling me names and giving me harassment basically. I'm literally just gonna like fucking lose it now. I'm literally just gonna, I might actually get fucking told by the police now because I'm getting to the point where it's actually pissing me off.
As well as losing their Instagram accounts, there may be possibly a little reason why. A while ago, way before my time, there was a rumour circulating that Elphaba had sadly passed. What he had done was because many various places put it up on like Showbiz News, etc. And he had actually used those articles in their verification process in a desperate attempt to try and get their Instagram verified, which was actually quite a new low for even me to watch. But this week it gets a hell of a lot worse.
I mean, who does that? That is sad. That is so sad.
It's insane. This week with E has been utterly I don't even believe that what has happened has happened.
Yeah. And then we had some more moderators quitting. Now, for those who not, I know not everybody knows what a moderator is. So just to summarize it for you, it's someone that sort of keeps an eye out on the chat for the live streamer. So they will be looking for any particular words or like offensive things, and they can basically delete the comment, block the person, or mute them so they can stay in the live, but they just stay muted so they can't type. And we had a moderator who's come out as Rogue, who is Sophie, also known on TikTok as Sophie OCD. Really lovely girl who I've spoken to. And I think what pushed her over the edge and said enough is enough, and she quit her job as an e-moderator, was Elphaba claiming now to have OCD and basically doing another Elphabaism, which is stealing Sophie's history, like with OCD, kind of copying another person's medical history. It's just a very common thing with E to do, which is I find really sick.
It really is. Now, I have been speaking to Sophie for quite a while, and I'm so proud of her because she's finally free, and hopefully it will help her on her journey now that she is not modding for E. E farms people's history, and it's so strange to see. It's a little bit like what Kirsten Cunningham does, actually. And you know, if you've got young impressionable mods that have, you know, illnesses and conditions, it's like a perfect hunting ground for them.
Yeah, that's really scary, isn't it? It's a really scary thought. Something Sophie mentioned as well is there's another moderator who's been around for a long time called Kelly. Kelly's kind of this anonymous person that no one really knows who I'll say they are. But Sophie let us know that she has been speaking to Kelly to tell Kelly to stop unblocking minors when she's been blocking them out of the live. Now, that is really, really concerning. You know, Sophie spotted these children and blocked them, seeing that Kelly was immediately unblocking them or unblocking them after the live, towards the end of the live, and she confronted her about it. But that is really, really worrying. And I know some people have had suspicions, and I will say it is a suspicion. It's not factual. There's no confirmation of this. But some people have been slightly concerned that that moderator could be, I don't even want to say their name.
We won't say their name on here. That person deserves no more airtime.
JP is what we'll say,
Yeah.
but there's been some suspicions that it could be this person. Again, it's not factual. We're really not sure. I don't think we will ever find out, to be honest. But we did ask Sophie, and Sophie has been asked by quite a few people because everyone's quite curious about it and concerned about it. And Sophie said she's not sure. She doesn't know. So we're no further in working that out. But it's just, I mean, that is really sick. Why are they doing that?
Couldn't even begin to tell you. I have no answers for that. It is absolutely disgusting. And it just goes to show the kind of people that E will surround themselves with.
It says a lot, doesn't it? It really does.
It's not right, and it's not okay.
Yeah, especially after, everything that's happened over the last couple of days, knowing that children are being allowed to watch that because they are being unblocked. And once again, Elphaba has not got 18 plus on. So
Nope.
they know children are in there, and we will talk about what's happened next, but they know that children are watching it, which is really creepy, really concerning.
Yeah. We just have a few little things to talk about, but this actually runs into this particular weekend. On Tuesday, he was in contact with Gender GP. Now, this has been an ongoing cycle for a number of years now, I believe, where E says that Gender GP has scammed them out of money, time, etc. We know that's not to be the case. He just never bothered to follow the protocol through all the way. So on Tuesday, this sounds like a story of the very hungry caterpillar, by the way, because we are working down the long list of things that have happened. So on Tuesday, he was finally got their arse into gear and contacted Gender GP about these hormones. Now, this hormone saga has been going on for such a very long time, and it's got quite laborious and really difficult to listen to, because basically he has just lied and slandered Gender GP for the last year and a half, 2 years now. And this week they finally got a piece of paper to say that they could potentially get hormones. Now, this runs on till today, literally just before we started recording this. Things were still happening surrounding that. But they were very, very pleased that they have been granted hormones, even though there are massive question marks around this particular subject.
Exactly. And I still don't think they realize that it's not a case of just ticking a box. I'm very, very surprised that they were not asked to do. Well, we still don't know actually what's the truth. Obviously, it's Elphaba at the end of the day. But I'm so surprised that they were not asked to do another consultation. Because considering, when was the last time that they had that done? Is it a year or 2 years ago?
It was at least a year ago.
Yeah.
They've had no consultation. They've had no bloods done. They've had no gender dysphoria diagnosis. They've had no psychological evaluation. Literally everything that you should need to even think about starting hormones, they have not had recently, which is a massive concern, because I think creators will agree with me that E's headspace currently is not, it's not fantastic. I think that this needs to be looked at properly.
Yeah, I totally agree. They need to be speaking to Elphaba, because I feel like they would immediately see that they need to be speaking to a therapist. And which is why I think it is important with regards to the gender dysphoria diagnosis, and just speaking to the person again and going in depth to make sure they're in the right headspace, like you said. But I'll show a screenshot now, because people over on the subreddit on UK TikTok Behaving Badly actually broke down the costs of everything, because that's another thing I think Elphaba is completely unaware of. They think it's just some sort of one-off payment, maybe an occasional payment every 3 months. They're a little bit delusional when it comes to it. So as you can see, these are the kind of prices they would be looking at paying. And it's a lot of money, But, someone who is looking for gender affirming care, I can imagine, a lot of people work really, really hard to be able to afford that care. And Elphaba obviously just expects that money to be given to them in gifts, and I think we'll just be at that point scraping by to be able to afford them. Maybe at some points won't be able to afford, and will then put that on their supporters and audience to make them feel bad, to get them to pay up. I can just see it happening now. I really can.
Something that I saw today is exactly what will happen. Exactly. He basically turned around and said they paid a lot of money to the Gender GP and a lot of gifts, referring to the people that had already gifted them, which is just absolutely wild to me. To expect for anybody else to pay for your hormones when you've had so much money already is absolutely disgusting.
It really is. It's just like a constant begging and expecting those people, the viewers, to pay for their lifestyle. And talking of begging and scamming, I'll call it. They also mentioned again that they want to look at starting drama school. Now, how many times have we heard this? Because I've lost count.
So many, it's getting boring.
Yeah. And Elphaba was talking about doing another GoFundMe to raise money for drama school. And I'll insert the clip of it now.
I don't want to cry. I really don't want to cry because this is my dream. And I want to put the work into it. And I know I say this so much, but I think the hormones and all this is a progress forward for myself. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a fund for myself for drama school. So once I get everything sorted, I'm going to make a fund for my auditions, a fund for my drama school fund, which I'll be funding myself, so for kick and all this money I make. And then once I have enough, I'll be paying my college tuition. So this is what I want. And if I don't do it, I'm not gonna ever do it.
So again, just expecting people for viewers to pay for everything that they do. And I think I can't see how they're not fed up of it by now, because it's just a constant cycle of asking for money. But there you go.
So, as you can see, he just loves getting all the gifts and doesn't want to pay for a penny of it. But on Wednesday, they were supposed to go and get some teeth extracted. This obviously did not happen because they had nobody to go with, which I think is very, very sad. Now, when you have teeth extractions, sometimes you're sedated quite heavily and you need to have someone to take you home and make sure that you are safe after the procedure. Now, he tried desperately hard to fish around to find somebody. There was nobody. Nobody was there to help them, which was a little bit sad, but they'd already made the decision the night before because they came online and was stuffing their face the night before. So clearly surgery was not on the cards this time round.
Do you know what I'm going to do from now on? And I think it's probably a good idea. I'm not going to tell you when my dentist is rescheduled, and I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to get it. But you'll know when I have it done on the day. Just simply because I think people are getting very scarily obsessed with my life, and it's very scary, and I don't like it. So I'm not doing it anymore. That's it. Because honestly, I am not having this any more. You weirdo stalker. You're coming across really pushy right now, and I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Just please calm down with that. I would really appreciate it, 'cause it's stressing me out and overstimulating me, man. You have to understand though, people are angry. Oh, I don't piss off. Get more angry, actually. Start a pitchfork protest against me or something. So I don't really care, to be honest. I don't care. Hate me more. Hate me more.
And the frustrating part as well is they have had weeks, months to arrange this, to speak
Months.
to Maria. Yeah, months.
It's been months.
To tell Maria that they need her there to help. Although now, obviously, Maria's got Diva. How that's going to work, I don't know. Because, once you separate cats and they're not used to each other, bringing them back together, it's just a disaster. But, Elphaba had lots of time to sort this out, to ask one of their many friends that they have. And it didn't happen. Like you said, they were on live till like 3 a.m,
Yep.
stuffing their face, lying
Yep.
about making a homemade tiramisu that was in a Tesco's.
Oh, don't even start me with the homemade tiramisu. That
It was such
just
an obvious lie. Like, it's just the small lies. They're so ridiculous. Why?
So this is the tiramisu I've made from, it's all homemade from scratch. Dark chocolate, Bailey's in there obviously, and look at that. I'm kind of hungry.
there is no rhyme or reason.
Claiming that they'd been hard at work making this tiramisu. It's ridiculous, but
It's
yeah.
just insane. But they were obviously said that they were preparing the tiramisu the day after, when it was obviously confirmed that he was going on Scram with Dan. But it kind of went south very quickly. and we will play the clip now.
Literally off. DJ didn't say that. He didn't say that. I want proof. I want proof and a clip. That's what I want.
Lex heard about Elphaba in the leggings with the Bulgosaurus Rex, and he's like, I'll have a bit of that.
Well, I want DJ to apologise to me after what he said, to be honest, if this is true, because this is quite disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. Let's talk about my and all that, and my leggings and all that. I'm not gonna lie, that's weird. And perverted, if he did say that. Because what the fuck? Is that basically about my Todger? Is that what he's talking about? So I'm just gonna say this, Dan, if you're watching this right now, and if you actually have done that, because I haven't looked at the video yet, please understand that I'm a trans woman, and it's very hard to live with, and it's very expensive, and it's very horrible, and it's very degrading to be having my genitalia laughed at, and wearing leggings and all that. I'm sorry, it's disgusting. It's also perverted as well, not gonna lie. So I don't know why that even came into your mouth and went into question.
Well, he suddenly decided that it was true, and I think, I'm not sure if they eventually did watch the clip at some point on the live, but realised
No,
that...
they didn't.
Oh,
They
okay.
didn't watch it. They absolutely refused.
They suddenly realised that the chat was telling the truth, I guess because so many people were saying it, and kind of had this shock look on their face of realisation that they had that DG had mentioned about their bits when they're wearing leggings and making sure they get it in the camera, which we've seen many a times. And they really, obviously we know that Elphaba loves to be a victim, but my goodness, they really went for the role of victim. And even though, yes, it was an inappropriate thing to say, he just ran with it.
Well, the problem is that because he had made that he makes such a fuss about not being misgendered and their trans journey being so important to them, then they couldn't dial it back. They had to run with that narrative, which was really funny to see, because what happened afterwards was just hilarious, because he put up a post, which we will put in now, to basically say that they want a severe apology from Dan. And it was meant with utter silence, and everybody laughed with the fact that, Dan doesn't really do that, and he won't really go back on his word. Apparently, he did apologise to E, and E is now continuing on Scram with Dan. But the next morning, DG misgendered E twice in about an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Like, listen, you know what makes great watch? Like, who used to watch Benefit Britain? Thanks, Sophie. Who used to watch Benefit Britain? Benefit Britain. You used to sit there like and watch with White D and stuff like that. You like watching different walks and the way people live and the way people like that sort of stuff's good to watch. Like, I enjoy watching it. Like, sometimes it's boring just watching somebody who really knows how to cook. If I wanted to do that, I'd go watch Ready Steady Cook. It makes great viewing.
DG must have spoken to them privately, we can only assume. But when DG was then asked on live, has he apologised? He said yes, he did, because he didn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable, is what he said. So we'll play the clip of that now.
Did you apologise to Alpha? Yeah, did you? Yeah. I made a comment on a contestant on a show as a bit of banter. She didn't like it. I'm not going to make someone feel uncomfortable. That's it, what it is.
So yeah, as you can see, they obviously worked something out offline, but it just again shows that Elphaba really has no backbone. They made such a huge deal about it, saying they wanted this big public apology. It never happened. But he just settled, and they've confirmed that they're still going on the show, and they seem to think that CLA will have their back throughout it, when I would arguably say that CLA's probably said worse about Elphaba on live before.
A million %. CLA has definitely had some choice words in the past to say to Elphaba. And I think all of this is just money over morals every time, and everybody's shown their true colours.
Yeah, so true. Then we had the voice back, everyone. The voice came back. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, occasionally Elphaba will realize that they probably need to work on how they are appearing to other people in terms of appearing more feminine and altering their voice to basically suit what they're saying they feel.
Charmaine, I actually think this is my mixed voice. Because it's that in the middle. Charmaine. Because I can feel the vibration in my head. And then I can feel the vibration. Yeah, oh my god. Well, yeah, obviously. Obviously. I don't know how to laugh. Charmaine. Sorry. So we're going to keep to it. It's going to be very hard, but we're going to do it. Okay? We're going to keep to it. It's going to be so difficult, but I'm going to do my best.
So I had to play that because it's just insane. And then another thing that people have noticed over the last week is, I know we've touched before on the mold on Elphaba's wall, which is just outside of their bathroom, that they still definitely have not had fixed because they kind of have their door open to hide it. So there was that happening. But then people have also noticed, I think it was today on live on Saturday, they were sleeping on live and they had their blind sort of pushed back a little bit, I guess, because of the wind. And they've now got mold all down the side of that wall too, all in the window area where the cat sits. And it's just, how do they not want to get that immediately sorted? Not only is it not good for their health, the poor cat, poor Mew, having to breathe that in.
It's because they don't want to have their windows open.
Yeah.
And you need proper ventilation in a flat that small with one human and one feline. You need to have good ventilation.
The thing is, it's just such an easy fix. You know, even if Elphaba doesn't know how to fix it, which you can easily Google, you know, speak to someone from their housing. They supposedly have a social worker, speak to them, get it sorted. It's just so lazy.
I just want to insert a clip quickly of the state of their flat today, I believe. And they said that they'd tidied up, but there are clearly boxes and bags of rubbish everywhere.
It's just not good, is it? But next we have the main event, everyone. We have Elphaba's Friday night. BB, if you want to give us a bit of a look into how that started.
Friday night, yesterday evening, started off relatively normally until it got to 11 o'clock at night. And for some unknown reason, he decided that it was time. They needed to go out and get absolutely off their face drunk. They proceeded to do that. They got their makeup on. They got a dress on that, frankly, looked like a Mr. Blobby costume. It was pink. It was sparkly. They couldn't do it up in the back. It was just utter chaos, wasn't it?
The dress is another atrocious choice, yeah. And it was chaos.
Not only the dress, but the shoes. The Gucci slip-on sparkly shoes that they have had for years, and they wore them because they didn't have anything else because their feet are too big. So they decided that they must go out. So they were going to local, but they went to their local area and they started drinking Baileys before this. Then they necked some wine, I believe, and they'd psyched themselves up. And we went on the journey with them. Now, if you're anybody that has done Elphaba awareness for a little while, you will know what is coming. But they absolutely surpassed themselves last night. They got to the club, they had a boogie, they had a dance, you know, everything was absolutely fine. They'd almost tried to hit on one of the bouncers, I believe, which, you know, is a bit off. And then it all kicked off when the club closed at 2 a.m. and chaos just started from that point on. And as they were walking back home after hanging around the club for about 10 minutes, was waiting to see if someone would invite them to an afters, which obviously didn't happen because it's E. They had the first incident of the night.
Hello.
What's that, man?
What's up?
Yeah, what's that, man? What's your name, darling?
My name is Alice.
Alice.
Alice from Wonderland, darling.
Alright, my name's Ben. Nice to meet you.
Nice
What's
to
that,
meet you.
man? Where you from?
I'm from Westminster.
Westminster.
Yeah.
What, like Central London?
Yeah, I'm just in a hotel around
Are
here.
you, are you a fucking, are you like right there in Central London?
Yeah, like proper. Yeah, like next to the fucking
Well,
Parliament.
it's nice to meet you,
Yes.
bitch.
Alice is walking away, darling.
See you later.
See you later. You just slapped my ass. Don't touch me again, I'll out of you.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't you fucking touch me again. I mean it. Walk away, then.
So this is after they have left the club and they have waited around for afters, which of course never happened. He decided that they were going to walk home. They live a very short distance from the club that they were at. It literally took them, I'd say, about 3 minutes to walk there. On the way back, they had said hello to this older gentleman that was clearly inebriated himself. And they got into this awkward conversation. And then as he turned around to walk away, the man, unfortunately, slapped her on the bum. Now, I'm not condoning this in any way. Nobody should ever be touched without consent. I think anybody would be very upset if someone random came up and slapped them on the bum and walked away.
It's like a shock, isn't it, when something like that happens?
It was, and I do you know, to be fair, I would have probably reacted exactly the same, and
Yeah.
that was fine, and that should have been contained. But in true Elphaba style, they took this and it spiraled into one of the worst admissions I have ever seen, and I must say now, this comes with a huge trigger warning for SA.
You don't understand what's happened to me in the past. I don't even want to tell you, because you won't believe it. No one will believe it. Because I've gone through it. That's why I'm here. I've said it now. What the fuck? Oh, all these awareness pages are going like, fuck you. This has triggered me. I'm triggered as fuck. Now you all know. I don't want you to know that. Why am I drunk? And I said that to people. Mum should have stopped me.
But I should also add that there is evidence that he has made these allegations before, and we will put that clip in quickly now.
I was bullied in school. I was sexually assaulted in school. So in year 7, a guy tried to rape me. It's true.
This is the fucking sky I got sexually assaulted in. Oh god. I'm gonna throw it out.
An awareness sake, oh, she was never SA'd in the past. When I was given a fake profile by this phone stealer so they could run away. This guy kept buying me things. I don't know if anyone remembers, but remember the karaoke box I got and stuff like that. He kept buying me things. I don't know what that means, but I'll look into it properly. But and what's happened to me in the past? I don't even want to tell you because you won't believe it.
And that's the problem, isn't it? It's, you know, the old saying, the boy who cried wolf. And Elphaba got really emotional and upset that no one will believe them. Did some blaming of cam2s and awareness people thrown in there as well, as you saw. But Elphaba, you have to remember, when you are making these accusations repeatedly, numerous men as well that have been proven it wasn't true, people are going to question things like that. And even that people will, because of your actions, because you said it, people aren't going to believe you. Do you not step back and wonder why? Why is it people would perhaps question something so serious and something so awful? You have to think why that happens. You can't just blame other people as if we're monsters who just wouldn't believe you. We are very empathetic people, and we are women. We've been through that. I think pretty much every woman on this planet has been through some sort of harassment, or I hope nothing serious, but it happens. It's unfortunate, but it happens a lot to women. So you have to step back and just ask yourself the question.
It beggars belief what they said on the longer clip that we just played right at the very end, when they basically accused the people that are saying that don't believe Elphaba to be that themselves. But when you accuse somebody of being that kind of person, was truly disgusting. Now, I've said this on my own page, so I'm quite happy to say it on here. I am a survivor. I have been through that. And lots of people that were watching that live and watching the cam 2 were very, very affected by what you just blurted out online. You kept saying that your mum was going to be really cross with you, and then you asked us to take it down and that it was private. Well, unfortunately, when you say something like that and you have a history like you do, people are not going to believe you. Now, I'm going to keep my personal opinion private because I don't want to pass judgment over someone's a lived experience. But you do have a history of making this shit up. And what I really want you to take away is the harm and hurt you caused me and every other survivor that's watched this. Now, this has been clipped and cut, and we estimated at maybe 1 million views all over the internet. In just today, you triggered so many people that regardless of what goes forward, that digital footprint is now so substantial that your life online is effectively over. It's finished. There is no coming back from this.
The frustrating part as well is Elphaba, the next morning acting as if, they weren't in control of it and of what they said. I'm sorry, but I can't stand that excuse when people have been drinking and say, oh, I was drunk, and using that as an excuse like it's valid. It's not. And if the type of things that you say when you've been drinking, you can't control yourself when you've been drinking, knowing that you're going to potentially say something that's going to trigger thousands, stroke millions of people, then you need to control your drinking and stop your drinking. Stop going out at the weird time. Stop chugging drinks all night long. And then going on live stream. You can control those things at the end of the day.
It was an absolute astonishing revelation, and I have my suspicions that you are not telling the entire truth, mainly because you have repeated even up to this evening that you got the accommodation because of what happened to you. Now, we all know that that is not true. The reason why you were moved to that accommodation is because of the fire that happened in the old accommodation, which the one that you first got. And was it a coincidence? you know, there was definitely a fire because it's on the internet that there was a fire.
Yeah.
So, but which way does it go? Do we believe you and think it's a coincidence, or do we go back to what we mostly think of what everything that you say online, which is that is total bullshit?
Yeah, exactly.
I swear to God that if you have made this story up, there is literally no coming back from that. And on the other hand, if you have gone through that, I am deeply sorry that you have gone through that, but maybe you could look at not going on sites for hookups. And another thing that I just want to say very quickly is that you said you hadn't been with anybody since that particular time that happened in last June. But we know that you are a frequenter of rooms that have extras in the back. You are constantly on Grindr all the time. It doesn't make sense. What you're saying doesn't make sense to what you have said previously.
Yeah, they've even said that they've had some hookups, and it's just that's the really confusing part for me, is that if something so horrendous like that has happened off the back of that app, why are you still on there almost on a daily basis, looking for people, boasting about being on it, laughing and joking about being on it, reading out some of the messages? If something so horrendous happened, why are you still on there trying to meet up with men?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And if you so you made, we all saw in the longer clip that you made a series of you made a timeline of events of what happened. And you know, if you were that scared, and if you were in that much danger, and the police and the housing associations thought that you were in that much danger of this person that you alleged had done something to you, they would have moved you, and they would have moved you fast. I know this because that's what I went through myself personally. So the fact that you are not safe in your location because you dox yourself all the time, you have no, we talked about this previously on previous episodes, that you have no awareness for your own safety, and then you have the cheek to call us out on it. Is it the audacity is truly immense.
They even did it today when they were going to get supposedly going to get these hormones. They said when they were leaving their apartment, whatever you want to call it, room, when they were leaving, the fact they were leaving their window open, on a side note, very not safe for poor Mew. And then they went live from their local pharmacy, said the pharmacy name, and said that they were going to be sat in there all afternoon, advertising to people exactly where they were and how long they were going to be there for. They just will never ever learn. It's mind-blowing.
It is absolutely insane. Now, you know, I've said that I have gone through some, you know, that. I checked every time I went out of my house. I have checked every window for the last 10 years to make sure that I am safe. I've done a lot of healing. I am much better, but those scars still remain. And the fact that you can walk out of your flat with everybody and his wife knowing exactly where you are without a care in the world at different times of day, it poses serious questions on the validity of your story.
They just really never think. They don't ever think things through. I don't know whether it's just them being completely oblivious, or the truth is they don't care because it's not true. They know it's not true. They're not that concerned, but I mean, who knows?
Who knows? They tell so many lies. It's really hard to know what's the truth. and what's fiction.
So then Elphaba wakes up this morning after everything that happened last night, and I mean, the fear in their eyes, remembering everything that happened, because they definitely remembered straight away. And there was no apology. There was very much just feeling sorry for themselves. And yeah, there was no apology for the amount of triggering and upset they had caused. I mean, did we expect any different? Probably not.
No, I don't. They were more concerned that they had to tell their mum,
Yeah.
and they literally said that they weren't going to apologize for it, and then they broke down into tears. They have been doing this most of the day, and there was just zero accountability for the amount of people that had been so deeply hurt. It can't continue like this. And I will just say now that for anybody watching E over the next week, it comes with a full-blown trigger warning. If you see E's face on a live or on a replay, you must expect things may spiral.
And then after all of this happening, Elphaba decided it would be a really good idea to try and attempt to go and get their hormones. I know we touched on it briefly, and Elphaba using Gender GP again. Well, they had mentioned before that they were told that they need to wait and have their blood test done. I think they said it was on the 17th of June, but they thought probably trying to take the tension and the attention away from what's happened and the amount of triggering that they had done, decided to storm on into the pharmacy and demand that they have their hormones then and there. And they claimed that they had accidentally pressed the dispense button on the form on their phone or something, which is very confusing. I've never seen an option to dispense, so we're not quite sure what the truth is there. I'll put a clip up now so you can see.
I'm literally just waiting for Gender GP to like message me. Can you like give me the next token again? Because I downloaded the token. Wait. So now I have to wait. I don't know if it's tomorrow now. I just want my hormones, man. I've waited so long. I literally have waited years. It's like I'm just so close to them now. Like it's not even a joke. It's like everything's stopping me to have them. I'm waiting for an email from JGP and I hope they reply to it. I'm staying here till this closes. I accidentally downloaded the prescription on my side and they can't do that for me.
So in the clip there, you can see that he was getting rather upset and impatient that the hormones clearly were not coming today. They went to another pharmacy, but we're not quite sure what happened because they ended their live stream, or their terrible service provider ended their live stream for us. But basically, they pretty much left Boots in a huff. And I think if they could have used the words Boots is transphobic, then they probably would have done. You know, it's just absolutely insane to think that they could just walk in, demand something, and that they were absolutely adamant. They said that they were going to sit there all day, and within about half an hour they got bored and tried another pharmacy.
Yeah, I will say it's like the pharmacist knew that Elphaba was up to something, because they were definitely stern. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but
by the end they outright ignored E sitting there.
Yeah,
because he was getting more and more upset with the fact that nobody was paying attention to them, which for me was absolutely insane given the last 24 hours of what I've just witnessed. It was not on my bingo card that he would be storming out of Boots in practically floods of tears because they had not received the hormones.
I'll put up I'll put up the bingo card.
Yes.
picture that we have over on the subreddit that somebody made. I'll put the bingo card up with their username. It's quite funny. But we still don't know why. What was the hurry today? Was it purely distraction techniques? I'm not sure, but suddenly they decided that they had to have their hormones today, even after already acknowledging that they're not meant to go and get it until after the blood test. But what was the rush?
I mean, we've tossed back and forward a few ideas about what could potentially be the rush. Me personally, looking back on everything that's gone on now, I truly believe that it was a deflection and a way to try and rally support again for what he had done last night.
Yeah.
And frame it in, because at the moment all they have left right this second is the fact that they may be going on hormones, and
True.
there is this grey cloud around E being able to take medication regularly enough for it not to cause lasting damage, which again is something that needs to be looked into, but only Gender GP can actually do that. And I would urge them to be responsible and have another look at Elphaba.
I'd also like to mention as well, I'll put a screenshot up now. It's like you said, I think Elphaba was wanting the attention and support from viewers, and some of the comments in the live stream was actually really concerning and just downright disrespectful towards the pharmacist too. And they were like calling the pharmacist like transphobic and things like that. Or right wing, they were calling. I mean, you'll see in the screenshot, but I feel like that's kind of putting the pharmacist at risk a little bit.
Currently, there is not a lot of critical thinking going on in Elphaba's Kick chat.
Do you know another thing I noticed today, which I found really interesting, and it's something we were talking about in last week's episode too? Mia had come into the live, and Elphaba's response was, "Oh, Mia, a real person." And I really feel like that says so much, because it once again shows in Elphaba's head, the people who are saying they've been affected by their behavior, like to Elphaba, they're not like real people. They're just comments or people making a video. Like I don't know whether they just think it's like a computer or something. It's not actually a real human being who's hurt and affected. Because the fact they said, "Oh, Mia, a real person," just because Mia agrees with them and won't argue with them or tell them that they are wrong. And I found that really interesting. And it's something we're going to be speaking about on our deep dive, but just something I spotted today that I thought that kind of says it all, really.
I truly believe that E thinks that there are maybe 10 people behind. They've alluded to quite recently, actually, to the fact that we must be the trolls that are saying nasty things about their cat and their family and their mum. I can assure you, I personally have never once done anything so low and disrespectful, because the things that the trolls say are they are truly disgusting.
So disgusting.
But I do believe that he thinks that because we are outspoken on our feelings towards them and their behaviour, that we are those particular kind of people, and we don't condone it at all.
Not only would we never have the time to do it, we just would never, I would never even think of doing something like that. We have actually said before how disgusting and that we condemn it. So, but yeah, you're right. Elphaba thinks that it's us. So
actually, what the troll accounts do is skew the actual behaviour that he displays, and it does make them the victim.
Yeah.
In certain situations, which is not what we want. We want to be able to show Elphaba as they are naturally, without any, added tangents or meltdowns or anything like that, because that alone is enough. You don't then have to go and poke the bear.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally what you said. It just makes them the victim. It is incredibly frustrating for us to watch whoever it is doing it do it, because like you say, Elphaba doesn't need that. They are badly behaved enough by themselves. You don't need doing that is literally giving them ammunition. So, as you've heard, it has been another crazy week on TikTok. And we just want to finish this episode by saying thank you so much to everybody once again who's shown us so much love and support. Thank you so much to all of the clip pages for the videos that we've shown during this episode as well, on every episode, because without you guys, we would have nothing to show, because even though we do clips ourselves, we can't catch everything. But just thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you so very much. We both are aware of how much time and, frankly, mental torture some of us go through when we have to watch these clips. So we really do appreciate the clip pages.
We really do. And on every single video, you should be able to see everybody's username if you wanted to go check out their page. If you could go check out their page and give them a follow, it would be much appreciated. And we also have our own socials in the description of this video. If you could also give us a follow on those, it would also be appreciated. We've been loving watching you guys enjoy the content as well that we're putting out. So once again, just thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts.
Yes, thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Welcome in, come close, hear it bounce, hear it go. Creators gone